La 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 la. Jason, tell everyone about your favorite new mobile game.
I don't have one. It's a love-hate relationship. Welcome back to the podcast.
I'm the bro host.
And I'm the co-host.
And we're back. What? Already? Assuming time outside of recording sessions, upload schedule has progressed regularly?
And today we're going to talk about the death of Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah, that's how late we are to covering stuff.
No, are we going to, I guess you can talk about that if you want. We're going to talk about a number of things today. And if you want to know what they are, because I don't know right now, you can look at the timestamps and the timestamps.
We forgot to advertise those last time.
The timestamps will know the future.
I'm an avid timestamper. I go to town in that description section.
You do
stamping all the times.
But I actually, if you want to start off on something that we can keep brief, especially because we talked about it for quite a while in the last podcast. I had a follow-up to our Mr. Beast discussion.
Oh, really?
It's a little bit of an
I
addendum.
felt like I had a follow-up to our AI discussion.
Well, you can throw that in later, too. But my addendum is last night I watched an Eddie Burback video. You may have seen it recommended.
Oh, wait, Eddie Burback. Which one is that?
He's the guy who used to be friends with Gus Johnson before Gus Johnson turned out to be, like, a bad person.
Okay.
Eddie Burback made a video on ghost kitchens.
Ghost kitchens.
If you're unfamiliar with the term, basically what Mr. Beast does with the Beast Burger, that's ghost kitchens.
Oh.
Where there are no actual Mr. Beast restaurants. There are no brick and mortar restaurants that are like distinctly Mr. Beast.
It's like ghost writers.
Yeah, they operate out of existing restaurants. Or what they call. This is what I learned.
That's actually cool.
This is what I learned from the video, and I'd highly recommend checking out the video. It's 40 minutes long, but it's very good. It's also very funny. Eddie Burback told me something I didn't know, which was that there are restaurants. Not all ghost kitchens are just existing restaurants, like small business restaurant, like locally owned restaurants that also handle order for like these virtual brand restaurants like Mr. Beast Burger. There are also these things called virtual kitchens, and as he showed in his video, there was this one virtual kitchen in wherever it was. I think it was LA that he was talking about. That has 44 different restaurants listed on Grubhub. 44 different.
Wait. It's one
actual kitchen. One actual place where they make the
44
food.
Different restaurants.
44 different
For
restaurants.
For what purpose?
Well, what he showed was he got from 9 different restaurants listed on delivery apps. He got the same exact burger. It was a fish burger from 9 different restaurants. And it was literally the exact same food they're making. But
wait, are the restaurants, is everything on the restaurant's menu all connected to the same place?
Yes.
Like it's not so it's not even like a Venn diagram thing. Like they're all pulling sandwiches from the same place, but they have different like fillets or something. They're just all copies of the exact same restaurant?
Yes.
Under different names?
It's just,
why?
It's basically different menus that are like different subsets of this giant set of stuff that they make at this virtual kitchen.
That's so weird.
And it's all about the branding. Because there was like this one that it's like stoned and hungry or something. And all of their branding for all of the names of like the food items and stuff, like the burger that he was talking about is like the one restaurant listed it as a beer battered cod sandwich. And then there was the one restaurant called Stoned and Hungry or whatever it was. Hungry and Stoned. It listed the name of the item as FSH. Fish. BRGR. Burger. Fish burger. Because that's like the branding, I guess, is like to look trendy and cool.
That's so weird.
But yeah, but it was the exact same sandwich. And so what I'm getting to here with the Mr. Beast thing is, I mentioned last time how he said, like, you know, how all of his stuff is philanthropy related, how all of his revenue that he makes is really going back towards some sort of philanthropy or to build his brand so that he can make more money to donate more stuff. Yeah. What Eddie Burback exposed is that he may have ran Mr. Beast. Like when he first announced Mr. Beast, he said we have 300 locations. Beast Burger, yeah. Beast Burger, he said we have 300 locations opening around the U.S. That was what he was started with. And it may be that those first 300 locations were like set up in, as Mr. Beast says, he did it in mom and pop shops to help during COVID, to help those restaurants that weren't getting business anymore to make extra money through delivery. That's what he claims Beast Burger is all about. That may be true of those first 300 restaurants, but as Eddie Burback showed in the video, Beast Burger partnered with this, it's called VDC, Virtual Dining Concepts is the name of the company.
Yeah. Who
does this virtual kitchen stuff. And so he partnered pretty quickly with them, and they do this thing where they have the virtual kitchens, and they cook the stuff out of those virtual kitchens.
Yeah.
And actually he got a Beast Burger from a place that was not one of those virtual dining things. It was an actual restaurant. Like just a locally owned restaurant, not a franchise. And so that was like the mom and pop type thing, although I don't know if it's really mom and pop, but it's a locally owned restaurant.
Yeah.
He ordered Beast Burger from that, and it was so far off from what it was supposed to be. Like, it was not the right ingredients, it was not the right presentation. The buns, the meat was wrong, like everything was wrong about it. It wasn't even Beast Burger at all. That's not entirely relevant.
There is no one Beast Burger.
But that's the problem with virtual kitchens. But I mean, that's a whole nother topic to talk about, the virtual kitchen stuff specifically. And Eddie Burback goes over that excellently in his video. So it would be pointless to talk about that further than just recommending that video.
Beast Burgers are like NFTs. Everyone is unique.
But I was thinking,
Burger is like no other.
I was thinking about the Beast Burger, and I was thinking maybe it started as what he says, which was like to help, like basically help businesses, help restaurants that are closed during COVID. But it seems pretty quickly that he just opened this up to being like the virtual dining stuff. And then my question is, all of that extra revenue that's just virtual dining, virtual kitchen stuff, that's not actually helping a locally owned restaurant, what does he do with that? Because he's not super open about that. And it's not like I have a problem with him with expanding the brand to make it more widely available to people. I get that because originally, again, only 300 locations. Like you'd have to travel just to try the Beast Burger. But I feel like he hasn't been very open because he's really been leaning on this whole like even the Beast Burger was all for charity. It was to help restaurants. But he hasn't really been open. As far as I can tell, he's never said anything really directly about the whole virtual kitchen thing. Beyond that, it was locally owned restaurants, but not these specifically virtual kitchen abstract restaurants. And then the other thing along with that I was thinking about is the Feastable, the chocolate bars that he's doing now. I mean, that's completely just that's completely just like a business venture from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, anything he can say, or the response he can give to anything is just anything that he makes money off of, he's reinvesting it. But it is interesting because he uses that as his defense a lot, but I feel like he's not super open about the Beast Burger and the Feastables, what exactly that's for. And again, I don't have a problem with him doing something to actually just make revenue. Like, who cares, you know?
Yeah.
He's still way far removed from the likes of Jeff Bezos. Like, he's not, you know, he's entitled to make some profit, to make money. But
yeah.
But I do wonder, because he's not super open about that. It just made me think, and I thought that was something that we didn't talk about in the last podcast.
Yeah, but it is like how I said in the last podcast, that I do think people should be keeping an eye on Mr. Beast. But at the same time, they shouldn't be jumping to conclusions, because we don't know one way or the other. But yeah, this was kind of like what we said about the AI art, about how there just needs to be some openness for this to feel...
right, yeah.
To feel more trustworthy. Well, the one thing I missed on the AI art was I was gonna say, like, if you're using these things that use like compilations of other people's art, specifically like stuff that isn't like in the public domain but is like under like fair use, let's say, if it were parody. Like, imagine I make like a YouTube poop with a bunch of anime clips. Nobody's gonna have a problem with that. But if I make a funny video using AI generation that uses those same anime clips as a basis for the art, then suddenly people are like, you're stealing art.
Right.
It's like, and even if I'm not making money off of it. And I know with YouTube it's kind of a gray area because you get, you know, ad revenue. So you are kind of making money, but you're not like selling a product. So that's why when people like
it is get all up, it's considered commercial use.
Yeah, but like the same could be said about like the YouTube poop example.
Yeah.
You could make money off of that. So I think it really is. There's a matter of perspective here that people aren't fully delving into. It really is just there's so many questions that this new technology opens up that people are scared of it. But that leads me to another thing, because you were talking about the ghost restaurants. One, or ghost kitchens. I was gonna add in. I remembered hearing something about this before. That Chuck E. Cheese was selling pizzas under like a different, more professional restaurant name.
That's part of it. That's part of it. He showed that. Eddie Burback showed that in the video as well. IHOP, Chili's. They would open. They would list
IHOP on, going back to IHOB.
They would list on the delivery apps fake restaurants that were just literally the address listed on those restaurants was just like the actual restaurant.
What's really scary is if they sell it for different prices. Imagine price discriminating against the hungry stoners. You can sell them for more. You could.
It's probably not, but it's so weird. It's just like branding, I guess. But it's like, it's funny then, because you're basically admitting that your own branding isn't good enough.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it's a sad thing because, I mean, like, it's like, I know the businesses are just doing this for money, but it is true that sometimes the branding can screw you over. Like, maybe IHOP does have amazing burgers, but nobody thinks about that because they're the international house of
Well,
pancakes.
also, Eddie Burback mentioned that it's probably also sort of trying to allure people who want to, who would rather eat from local restaurants, like small business restaurants.
So that is kind of false advertising.
So they're trying to pose as like a local or small business that somebody might want to support rather than a large fast food chain, but then in reality they're not. And again, that goes back to like, they need to be open about it. And that's what he said. It would fix almost all the problems if on the dining apps, the delivery apps, they would have, on any virtual restaurants, they would have a marker in the corner that signified very clearly that it is a virtual restaurant, not an actual restaurant. I think that would solve most of the problems, because a lot of them you can honestly just look at it and tell that they look off, but yeah, I think it goes back to openness.
But once again, like, who's gonna hold them accountable? Like, how can you even with what we have now? How are we gonna even find out this kind of stuff if they don't want us to?
Well, because you can tell by the addresses on most of them.
Snooping.
Because that's what he found. All 44 different restaurants that are all tied to the same address, the same virtual kitchen. So I think that's what you have to look at, and that's a pretty easy way to deal with it, but. That goes into the whole other issue we talked about with health inspection, and there's some big issues with health safety standards, safety standards in the virtual kitchens. But again, go watch his video.
This points back to another topic that we sort of skimmed over in our AI discussion because we were only talking about art for the most part.
Oh, right, the death of Queen Elizabeth.
No.
You're gonna talk about the deep fake voices?
Yeah, about how you can't trust anything nowadays. Everything's layered behind all these falsifications.
I saw a tweet this morning that said, it's actually this is pertinent that we're talking about AI again, because I don't know if you saw it, but GPT-4 just came out, which is the successor to GPT-3, which is what ChatGPT was built on.
That thing scares me. You can have realistic conversations.
And GPT-4 is now apparently even way better than GPT-3.
And it can understand human concepts.
Yeah, I saw somebody tell it to write a comedic bit in the style of some comedian, and it made its own joke, humor on the fly, that's
scary.
Which is crazy. Cause
I know how that's possible. I've thought about this kind of stuff in my spare time. But
it also made me think how much of it is really just copying and just small alterations, but actually just copying stuff that it observes from other people.
I am an artist. I try to be inspired by other people sometimes. And there are ways you can go about abstracting someone's style or genre or stuff like that. And that's how I'm saying I can understand how you could get a machine to do this. Assuming you get the base level of having it understand humor in the first place, stuff like that,
and it's
on a basic level.
But it all boils down to just patterns. It recognizes patterns, and so.
But imagine how many old people are going to be scammed by this.
I'm still waiting to be deeply impressed. Don't get me wrong, I'm impressed by it, but I'm still not.
He's waiting to be scared.
Exactly. I'm not scared yet.
I'm not scared yet.
To me, I can kind of see through the facade that this is.
Jason goes through reality it's a horror movie. Come on, you're not scaring me yet.
It's trained on such a massive pool of data
that
it can literally copy existing human responses, existing material, and essentially just alter small bits of it according to patterns in the way things are normally altered in human speech, and it can produce something that looks original enough that it created it, but in reality, it's just copying patterns, and it's copying existing material. So again, that's why I say that it's not generative. It's transformative. It's taking other stuff and it's making stuff based off of that. So I still feel like, obviously, it doesn't have the power on its own. Without human input, without human material, it's nothing. But what were we talking about? Or before you mentioned that? The voices.
Yeah. About sort of in general, just about deceiving and scamming people. Because I feel like already, like you said, it's not like foolproof. It's not as scary as it could be. But already, I feel like people are underutilizing what it is capable of. Like the worst story I've heard about is like somebody used deep fake like video editing, facial editing, in combination with a fake voice synth to make it look like Joe Rogan was advertising these like snake oil testosterone pills on his podcast,
and that's already believable enough
to get people to buy them. Yeah, because people would do that. They'd be like, "Oh, Joe Rogan approved? Really? I gotta check this out." Yeah, there are people out there.
No, have you? I'm surprised that's your only example. Because do you not know about the scams that have been going on for over a year now? The Elon Musk live streams.
Really? I haven't heard about that one.
Let me explain
there's
it briefly.
Few I've heard of.
Let me briefly explain that in case people listening.
Wait. You're telling me they've been faking entire lives? Okay.
There will be channels called like Elon Musk or like Tesla brands or like Tesla presentations or something. Like weird names that are trying to mimic Tesla or some subsidiary of Tesla or Elon Musk, SpaceX or something. And they will do live streams, which they're really not live streams. They're just live streaming.
I saw a live streamed launch from SpaceX once.
They're live streaming pre-made videos.
Yeah.
And what the videos are they basically rotate through a roll of different video footage. Mm-hmm. Some of it is actual interviews that Elon Musk has done, and then they pretend it's like a live interview going on right now. But then intermixed with those real interview clips, they put in small deep fake segments about how there's an all number of scams they can do with it. But basically they take a video of Elon Musk, deep fake his face and voice to make him say something else. And like one of the most common ones they do is just say, anybody that donates to this video, I'll return your donation in 2 times the amount in Bitcoin.
Okay, that's the kind of stuff I was thinking about.
But if you go to those live streams, there are thousands of dollars being donated to those live streams.
Dang. People
People actually fall for the scam, and I honestly don't know how. But they just run these live streams that are just rolling pre-made
because they're
video,
Musk fans. That's how.
And people donate thinking that they're somehow that Elon Musk personally is going to send to their Bitcoin wallet twice the amount in Bitcoin. And so yeah, there has been malicious use for deepfakes already. But even at the time of Elon Musk, or at the time of those scams that have been going on for over a year, I want to say maybe 2 years now. Back at that point, the deepfake was still noticeable enough that if you were not like brain dead, you could tell. Like his face is all blurry and it looks weird, but it's to the point now where people can make really believable videos. But I am almost shocked that we haven't seen more. Like the best we've seen is memes of presidents playing video games together.
No, I love those.
And those are so
good. And they're
good.
like weirdly wholesome too.
It's so wholesome. I was saying that.
But I also feel like they might have been made by the Freemasons to make us feel better about the way things are. Like, Joe Biden's not so bad. Look, he's playing video games.
But it does kind of give me this weird...
I like how you just glossed over that I threw in Freemasons.
It gives me this weird sense of
me and Jason both have our third eyes open.
You know what? Maybe the presidents really are humans, like they say.
Yeah, maybe Trump and Obama can get along.
And I mean, in reality, they do. Like they could in real life. It's all just a political
because they're all
game.
working together. They're just using us as pawns.
Well, that's also true to some extent. Yeah. But yeah, I think it. I dare say that it reveals some actual distilled amount of human morality in society that nobody's done something more evil by now.
A deeply buried human desire for us all to just get along.
Yeah, and more importantly, against the computers, against the robots. Yes. There's like an alliance, secret alliance formed between us as humans, that the robots can never take us over. But yeah, I'm sure at some point some like QAnons on Twitter are gonna start posting like Biden like farting and throwing up.
Have you seen the like? I don't want to curse word, but I'll censor it out with a slightly less bad word. Have you seen the what is it called? Like the crap post bot 5,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me because I'm not trying to like.
He said crap. Oh no, we're gonna get demonetized.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say the other word. Do you get demonetized for that word now?
If YouTube is feeling lucky, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a gamble.
There's no clear indication.
We'll come back to this. Alex Jones. Not to say that I get any information from him that I take particularly seriously. He once said that like, what was he said? He said bots and AI will never be able to replicate memes. It was just some weird off.
That's such a weird W from Alex Jones.
But like, no, because you mentioned the thing replicating comedy, and the crap post bot 5,000 has made some pretty good stuff.
Yeah,
he's starting to eat his words, and it scares me.
We've gotten memes to such a point of random abstraction that honestly, I could tell a computer to just generate a random caption, generate a random image, and generate random audio, and it would be funny.
They have been conditioning us to consume AI-generated memes before the AI-generated memes were here. They've changed the memes so that we can't recognize.
The robots are already one step ahead of us.
Squidward!
It's
robots
far
have
too
taken
late.
Over the Navy. Not the Navy.
So what's your next topic? Because somehow we're already 22 minutes into this thing. So
well, here I didn't get to finish up completely because our parents they got the Roku. And they're already watching like
oh no
AI generated fake celebrity
I
drama news stories made by robot voices.
So
my dad, our dad, he clicked on something that was like one of those like doctors don't want you to know this type things.
Oh no!
And it was like showing like a smoothie, like a health smoothie. And
I always thought he would know better.
I walked over there and I was like, "Dad, what are you watching?" It's like it's a smoothie. and then as soon as he says that, he points to the screen, he looks at me, and he looks back, and a big pop up saying, "Warning: your computer has a virus." And then he just closes it and then closes the ad and doesn't say a word because he knows what I was gonna say, but he's just like. Pretend that didn't happen. It was the most hilarious thing.
And he works in computers too. He does. So you'd always think that.
And
he
passes
better,
the like test spam.
That's the scary thing, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, there's old people.
Yeah, you send
you just fall for it when you get old.
You send the Chat GPT into these things and try to and they maintain a real conversation. And they know how to work in things. You will scam every elderly person in the world into bankruptcy.
Then it's just streamlined. They don't even have to have people working in scams. They have automated scams going for them. They can just dispatch a bunch of chat bots and then
initiate the scam bot.
Yeah, maybe old people just need to not use the internet. I think that's a good lesson to take away, honestly.
But the thing that would scare me the most is this is hypothetical. This is where I'm saying we haven't reached the limits yet. Is you could you could almost fabricate stories about anyone. You could make fake video and audio footage of someone saying they said something. And right now, see, here's the weird thing about the AI voices. There are some things that a human can say that you can tell that an AI isn't saying, but there's nothing an AI can say that you can tell a human didn't say.
Yeah.
You listen to it and it's like, yeah, someone could have said that. Whereas if I'm talking like this, you know a machine didn't say this.
Yeah, they can't even get inflections very well.
They're getting better though. Yeah. They're getting better.
But I have yet to hear.
I listened to that Joe Rogan one.
Yeah.
And they matched his inflections pretty. Early on the president's memes. Trump did not sound right because they did not match his inflection. He only occasionally but they fixed it, and now it sounds like Trump.
The candor of his voice. Yeah. They've got it perfectly now.
Yeah,
but what I mean
candor
is sounding excited, sounding disappointed, emotion through the voice beyond just their general normal intonation is they have yet to replicate that. But yeah, it's gonna be real bad when some random creeps on Twitter decide that they want to cancel some celebrity and then they make them say a slur using AI. It's gonna be so bad. That's the one thing that I've thought about that kind of scares me. But I just want to hope that people are not that malicious. But there's people on Twitter who probably are hate people that much that they would want to get them canceled and do that.
I mean, have you been watching Moist Critical? He covered another false allegation against someone that they had to disprove themselves.
Quite?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch. I don't know much about the situation, but I know about the. Yeah, I've heard about it.
So like, imagine if those people were like AI aware and like extremely motivated.
Oh yeah, it's over. It's only a matter of time before they start doing that. And I think the end result of that, if more than anything, is probably going to be the death of cancel culture rather than...
Yeah, because everyone will just say, well, we can't prove anything one way or the other. I just like watching this person's videos.
Yeah. Which honestly, it might in some
Maybe
way...
they do kill children in their spare time.
It might in some weird way bring peace to the internet, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But
peace through deception.
You mentioned the AI generated YouTube videos, and I've touched on that topic briefly.
You made a video about it on your channel.
Yeah, in my YouTube video.
Check out. We didn't advertise you either.
Yeah, check out
Jam Lab.
Check out Jam Lab on YouTube. Watch my latest video called "Weird Things Found on the Internet," episode 1. I'm planning on making episode 2 at some point.
There's apparently a bunch of other
about
Jam Labs.
What I'm about to talk about.
This is the one with the little orange potion
I've risen
bottle?
to the top now, so you'll see me.
Yes, let's go.
I'm not the African Jam channel. That it's like I think it's like some African channel where they make beats and they call them the Jam Lab. I wish that were me, but that's not me. Instead, I make far worse content. But anyways, go watch my video. I brush over the whole AI generated videos.
Watch his video where he robs a gas station. That one's my favorite.
That too. But I want to make one. I've been stockpiling a list of websites, and at this point, it's. I mean, the stockpile is growing too large. Like, it's impossible to not run into these. And I'm curious if you.
Bro, I love it when you tell me you have like a database of like links and data. Remember that one you found though? I don't mean to derail, but like you found like all those links and they were like it was like websites that were designed to like engineer like
maybe I should talk about that on the podcast because
you said they like started disappearing. You need to hurry.
They got taken down. That's why I can't make a video on it now. But
you should have taken at least
screenshots. That's a whole nother topic maybe for another podcast.
You could totally, with enough time and patience and skill and practice and experience, become one of those like investigative.
I did
mini documentary.
I went to the ICANN. Don't ask me what that stands for because I actually don't know. But
you remembered the acronym.
It's the organization that handles domains and domain ownership on the internet, on the World Wide Web, I should say. And I actually looked up who owns the host name of that site and everything, but they didn't even know what we're talking about. But it was basically the site where every time you go to the site, if you put something different in the URL, like whatever the site name was / any string of text, it will generate a brand new web page that is just full, like 3 pages long of just a giant block of text that is random text found all over the internet put together into one web page. And what I, without a doubt, think that it is they are scraping as much data from the internet as possible, putting it on that page, and that way, whenever you search anything, Google's search engine optimization system is going to look at that page and say, hey, it's got all these keywords on it. So, like, anything that you look up,
that was the
text is bound to appear on that site in one of their pages.
The interesting thing is there must be, like, some sort of nuance, like, level of like, higher thinking to this going on, or at least some greater awareness, because that was a problem way back in the early days of Google, and they've since, like, deployed, like, we don't think of it, but it's like a YouTube level algorithm that like assesses all these different values, like not just if the word appears on the page, but like where people are clicking from, where people are going to, how long they stay on the page.
To be clear, I don't know how all that works in great depth, but the hook, line, and sinker of this is that it was a scam. Like I managed to bypass the scam part where it tries to redirect you to another website. Yeah. So if you ignore the redirect,
because he's a hacker,
if you ignore the redirect, then you'd land on the page where it's all that random text gotten from the internet. But if you don't ignore the redirect, it redirects you to some scam advertising page. So it was all a scam or like advertising kind of ploy, but that was really interesting. But what I'm talking about, and I'm curious if you have ever run into these, is there is now a plethora, a gold mine on the internet of AI-generated news websites. Have you run into any of those?
I think I have run into...
They're not like news. They're more like journals, I would say, like blogs, like hobbyist style blogs.
Okay,
journals.
I've seen stuff like that.
And no matter, you could look up anything. You could look up any search term. Like you could look up, is JamLab the coolest YouTuber ever? And there would be an AI generated article that would try to piece together some answer to that question. And it's the most random stuff ever. I think I looked up some like tech related question once. And it brought me to this website called like American Radio Association. And it was like a blog looking website. And it was like answering this tech question. I don't know how to describe the style. Like I just have to make a YouTube video on it to show you.
Oh my goodness.
But it's like AI generated.
JamLab content incoming.
It like has
Someday.
a list of like 6 to 8 questions that are like commonly asked on the internet, I guess.
Yeah.
And then like literally AI generated, like ChatGPT style generated responses to them that sort of make sense, but don't really relate to the question you asked in the first place. And it's just to generate clicks, and of course there's ads on it like a regular news page would be. And it's just to take advantage of the Google the search engine, the way it works, get promoted on the search results, and get clicks and get advertisement money. But it's straight up AI generated, and they just generate pages and pages according to like popular search queries or something. It's so bizarre. And that's like the future. But that's why people have said that Google may no longer be the most popular search engine to use anymore. It might be more popular to use a chat model like GPT, ask it a question, and get its answer. Because you can now, if you want to do research on somebody, like some historical figure or some historical event, you can just ask GPT to describe it for you, and it will. But then it all revolves back to where does it get its source of information from?
Yeah, dude, it's like, where are they sourcing the AI art from? It's like, where are they sourcing their answers from?
And that is a big issue with the language models as well. Like it all is coming from somewhere. So I don't know. The internet's going to turn into like one big ball of fake news and fake media.
Dude, this is scary, because the reason why so many people believe fake news and have like extremist ideas today is because you can't trust anything. Yeah. Like they're almost justified in believing what they want to believe, because you can't really rely on anything else that is considered like official or whatever.
They're more willing to believe something that's not mainstream accepted because they have so much skepticism in everything they hear.
Yeah, and in a general sense, that skepticism isn't unearned.
Yeah, no, it's valid. They just think that the best response then is to believe something even more outlandish because it has maybe a higher probability of not being tampered with.
Well, the problem is then they go to these other people that they like think like don't have their own agendas or anything because they're not part of the news or whatever, but they do. Like think for yourself.
Well, yeah,
all these free thinkers
everybody
out there.
Has an agenda of some sort.
Dude, I wrote that big asterisk on your list, and I can't remember what it was supposed to be for. I have to go back and listen to the recording from the last one.
You wrote that, or did I write it?
I wrote it.
Okay.
I reached over with my pencil.
Do you have a next topic you want to transition to since we're halfway through? Move along from.
What is your opinion on Pikmin 4?
Pikmin 4. Oh boy.
He has this. He took the Olimar Smash amiibo to college with him to manifest Pikmin 4.
Well,
and it worked.
Okay, this better not be a long section because I'm sure most people don't care about Pikmin. But if you don't know, Pikmin is a real-time strategy game where you command an army of small vegetable-like creatures to do tasks for you. And there's beautiful worlds that you explore, and then you try not to die.
And if you know at least a little bit about Nintendo, then it's the most, like, nichely anticipated game since Mother 3.
Yeah, because it's the least popular Nintendo franchise, or one of the least popular Nintendo franchise.
I mean, it's got a cult following for sure, though.
Because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It just never has broken into the mainstream. But I'm part of that cult fan base. I think Pikmin is fantastic. If you've never played Pikmin, you should at any cost. And,
at any cost. Sell your arms and legs.
Yeah, sorry, you have to buy a Wii U to play. Actually, no, you don't know because they ported it to the Switch.
Deluxe on the Switch.
So get Pikmin 3 Deluxe for the Switch. I promise it'll be worth your money.
If you have a Wii, the Wii new play control for 1 and 2 are on Nintendo Selects.
Pikmin 4. What are my thoughts on it? It looks good. I'm excited. I mean, I don't have much more to say than that.
You don't have any complex thoughts? Because you asked me what I thought.
Well, I guess I haven't tried to formulate any. I feel like I'm less like you. When I see the trailer, I'm just like, okay. Can't wait for the game to come out.
That's a problem for me with being
I try not to overanalyze everything. But if you want me to say something about it, I'll say this. It's been years since the last Pikmin game.
And Pikmin 3 was delayed, too. It was originally going to be on the Wii.
Yeah. It's been over a decade since the last Pikmin game.
Yeah.
So much has changed since then in so many ways. I don't expect the game to be a 1-to-1 of what Pikmin 3 was, especially not a 1-to-1 of the original Pikmin games, which, as you know, as he knows, not you, but as he knows, Pikmin 2 is my favorite Pikmin game of the series. Pikmin 3 departed from the original 2 Pikmin games in a number of ways, and that's because it came way
It
after.
kind of compromised between the two.
And now Pikmin 4 is coming way after Pikmin 3. So my only real thoughts, not good or bad because I have no way of judging the game yet as it hasn't come out, is I know that it will probably depart from a lot of things that Pikmin 3 did. It'll probably change Pikmin in a lot of ways, but it definitely won't modify the core essence of what Pikmin is. And so I'm excited for the new things. I'm excited to see what they change in it. And I'm sure that it's going to be fantastic either way. And most importantly, I just love the feel of the worlds and the characters. And it's just all very cutesy and fun. So beyond anything, like, it's going to be an enjoyable game no matter what the mechanics are. But the mechanics look different, but they look like they could be refreshing. So
I'm an equal Pikmin fan, but I'm also an overthinker and I want to be game designer. So I'm too invested in stuff like this. And when I saw it, the first thing I thought is that the graphics look like it almost looks demo-ish. Do you still not think that some of the graphics look like incomplete? Which is fine because they probably are. They're probably doing finishing touches on some stuff.
I think the graphics look incomplete.
Yeah, some stuff looked like very undetailed, almost plasticky.
I thought that was just maybe the art style they were
Could be, but I like a little bit of realism because I think it looks cool, the details and everything. But that was just a minor thing. The first thing I noticed is they brought the caves back.
Yes. Yeah.
But the geysers have been replaced with these big air vents.
I did not see that. I did not notice that.
That was how they exited the cave.
So the house is confirmed going to be where the caves are.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they look like normal caves in the trailer. But to me, that deconfirmed purple Pikmin being in the game because they're wind resistant. Unless you can't take them out of a cave.
Oh. Well, yeah, maybe they'll be cave only.
That would actually be kind of neat. That'd be a nice balancing mechanic.
I mean, yeah.
But poor purple Pikmin, I'll miss them.
I feel like they didn't really make sense outside of caves anyways. So if you haven't played Pikmin, you don't know what we're talking about now.
But the other thing is I've like spent so much time thinking about what Pikmin 4 could be, and I've spent so much time listening to other people talk about what it could be, that anytime they like deviate from like the best possible option, it like upsets me. Like and some of it doesn't even seem creative.
How do you know what the best
like
possible
Ice
option
Pikmin,
is?
people have been considering Ice Pikmin since the beginning, but I've seen fan designs that I like better than these Ice Pikmin. Like, they just look like misshapen rock Pikmin. But I saw one that was like, the furry Bulborbs in the ice sections of Pikmin 2? I saw one that was like a furry Pikmin.
That feels more like a snow Pikmin than an ice Pikmin, though.
I know, but I like the design better. They look more charming.
Until you said it, I forgot Ice Pikmin was the thing that they revealed. And I kind of think that Ice Pikmin is a goofy idea.
It is.
But
the thing is...
But again, listen... They've worked for so many years on this game.
I know. I don't think it's going to be bad.
Them.
I know.
I trust them completely, and I don't think it's my place to criticize, so I'm not going to.
Bad or not, I feel like a lot of the stuff they showed off was really unoriginal. Like, ice freezing mechanics is a pretty basic thing in games, and it was a thing in Breath of the Wild, too. And then, speaking of Breath of the Wild, every game now, you got to be able to climb walls. Of course, they had climbable walls in Pikmin 4. Did you see that?
Climbable walls.
You didn't see
the captains can climb up them?
Yeah, you didn't see the Pikmin broke down a wall and then you climb up
I got you.
Pretty soon that's going to be like the new jumping in video games. I bet the game has craftable items with durability. How much do you want to bet the game has craftable items?
This is a good transition. This is a great transition into one of my topics.
Well, I didn't get to finish saying, of course the game has a dog too. Luigi's Mansion has a dog now. Odyssey and Breath of the Wild had dogs in them. Yoshi's Woolly World got a whole new re-release with a dog.
It's because the Twitter account, Can You Pet the Dog in blank?
Yeah.
They need to make sure they have a dog.
Why does everything have to have a dog?
Well, it's just that...
I bet it has fishing minigame in it too.
It barely even looks like a dog. It's more of just like a companion creature.
It's very dog-like.
Yeah, but I don't see the issue with a companion creature. They want to make there be more things to do in the game.
The last thing I want to say is that...
They want to add more freedom to the mechanics.
Is that... The new characters. First of all, I can't wait for Pikmin 5 when you have 5 playable characters. Apparently, they're still going with this theme that the number of playable characters is
Let me just interject. Can you drop in the comments down below? Can you drop who you think is right? Do dogs belong in video games? Are you a dog hater or are you a dog respecter? Go ahead and drop in the comments.
They're overrepresented.
Who you think is correct? Do you think that it's cool to have an extra?
Not everyone needs a dog.
Do you think it's cool to have a little buddy in a video game? A little extra.
Not everyone needs a little buddy.
Do you think dogs are cool? Say yes if I'm right. Say no
Do you think dogs are
comment
cool
down
in
below.
moderation?
You're wrong.
In moderation. But the new captains, they're all like wearing the same outfit. It looks so boring. They don't have their own colors. I'm hoping they change that. And their designs of the actual like how they look as people are either like so basic and boring or so over the top. Like two of them look really average, and one of them has like an eye patch and like a scar or something and a weird hairdo. That's my full opinion.
Forget everything I said earlier about how Pikmin is a great franchise. Pikmin 4 is going to ruin it. Pikmin 4 looks like the worst game I've ever seen with my own two eyeballs.
I'm a nitpicker, and I want to see how some of this might change in the final release.
It looks perfectly fine to me. It looks perfectly good to me. I don't know how you could criticize it, especially so early on before it's even released. That's just me personally. You just sound like a negative Nancy right now.
I know.
Like a major downer.
No, I feel like you gotta cover both sides.
He's literally over here.
This guy.
He's literally over here like, dogs, dogs, dogs.
I feel like there are too many recurring themes in video games that are copied over and people aren't thinking creatively.
I think there are too many recurring themes in video games that are copied over. Specifically, what I called Stardew clones. Stardew clones.
Ah.
But it also extends to Earthbound clones.
Dude, this is actually funny because this...
Earthbound / Undertale clones, because Undertale is already an Earthbound.
Dude, this goes into two topics I was going to talk about.
And Stardew kind of encaptures a little bit of like the Terraria or Minecraft clone mechanics, where you were just talking about with crafting and tools with durability and stuff.
The Wild and Animal Crossing had that.
But no, I specifically I wrote it down. I wrote down the phrase Stardew Fever. That was just a phrase I coined. If you're unfamiliar with Stardew Valley, it's just like a little farming simulator game that is already by itself has a lot of things that aren't very original about it, because it takes a lot of concepts from existing tropes, like the Terraria style, like the whole mining and the tools and everything. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with that, and the game is good and it does it all well, and it adds a lot of cool stuff to it. But now since Stardew Valley, I've seen it's Stardew Valley already. I feel like has some unoriginal parts, but now there's so many indie games where people are just, it seems like they're just completely ripping off of Stardew Valley. I'm like, you're ripping off of something that's already not an original. Like, you're making a copy of a copy.
Dude, people have been, I have heard about this, and it's not just in the indie scene. This has gone up to at least like, is it double A a term, developers?
Yeah.
Because, do you remember, like, 2 Nintendo Directs back, 2, like the bigger Directs, not counting like the Mario Directs, I think it was 2 back. The whole thing was, people kept talking about, they released like, they talked about, like, they presented 5 different farming games for the Nintendo Switch that were all coming out around the same time. And people were like, another farming game? Really? Well, there were people in reactions like, let me guess, the next one's a farming game? And it was a farming game. Like, ah!
Well, you talk about double A. Apparently it's made its way into the triple A, because now we got dogs in Pikmin. We got dogs in Pikmin. We got dogs. It's ruined. We got dogs in Pikmin. I'm not going back to Pikmin. I just had to get one last jab at you, and so you're actually not going to respond to that jab.
Well, the interesting thing, though, is I was going to, when you mentioned Earthbound clones, because you didn't cover that, but we all know, like, that's a common thing with indie games.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to talk about, in general, how all indie games, like, they just all seem cookie cutter now.
They do.
It's getting so boring.
Not all of them. I feel like that's a little pessimistic. Sorry. A lot of them.
The good ones are not. Like, the good ones are refreshing. Like, Shovel Knight is one of the best indie games I can think of in recent history.
It's becoming progressively less recent.
That was original. Though. Yeah, now it's not really. It doesn't even seem recent. But that game was awesome. And I think it was so awesome, not because it did anything particularly excellent, but because it was not, like, literally just Minecraft 2.
It was inspired by something that hadn't been, like, overdone.
Yeah, and I mean, it's in a lot of ways.
Well, I mean, retro games style has been kind of overdone, but it was a certain level of authenticity, and it wasn't immediately trying to piggyback.
And they did it so well. Like, the music is fantastic.
That's the thing.
The art is great.
You can copy the heck out of everything, but if it genuine has a good basis for that, using that material, and it does it really well, I don't care. And so that's the thing. If the dog doesn't feel shoehorned in, I'm fine with the dog. But everything has a dog now. I think a few are shoehorned in. I'm done talking about this.
If you're gonna clone something that hard, then you got to do it really good to make it stand out in any way. But I've seen what I was specifically was going to cite when I'm talking about this is I've seen this seen these people on TikTok or Instagram advertising. They're like a couple, and they're like, me and my boyfriend are working together on this new indie game where you have a farm and blah 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 blah. And like they showed screenshots of it, and it literally looks like Stardew Valley mixed with like a little bit of like Heyday or something, like just like straight up farming sim. And because they show that you can like build stuff to upgrade on your farm, like Clash of Clans style, you know, whatever you call that.
Oh no, it's going into the mobile game territory.
And then they have like you can like customize, like there's different appearances your buildings can take, but it's just like different decorations for the same thing. Like it just
seen these Hero Wars.
It straight
ads.
up just looked like, what is Hero Wars?
It's all those ads like where like they used to have the ones where you pull the pins and stuff. Now it's always there's this guy and there's this giant woman with big boobs.
I just saw that.
And then he poops on a toilet and the toilet eats him. Wait. And he gets sent to hell. Wait. I don't understand. Can I get demonetized for saying that? It's okay. We don't have monetization anyway.
Hold on.
It's so weird.
Jonathan, I just saw that ad.
Yes. Look. Wait. Is this the one where he gets dragged into a toilet? No. He gets eaten by a dragon.
And then in classic mobile game style, they have to like choose all the wrong options, and then he dies.
It's so, and this is what some of these indie games. This is going to probably be the future of like these uninspired indie games. Is they're just going to become like scams to get your attention.
Yeah, but I feel like there's people who have like genuine good intentions and they want to make a good game, but it's like, come on, like you got to make something original. It screams that they're like Stardew fans, and that's cool that you like, you know, you like a game.
Stardew is peak gaming. Let's see if I can make a Stardew that's even more Stardew.
Exactly.
Than
like don't make it again then. Just enjoy your game. Don't try to remake it. Add something new to it. And I guess they're trying to, but it just
at this point just mod the game and like,
which a lot of people
advertise the mod.
That game is super modded.
Don't make Minecraft 2 when you can just make a mod for it.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Indie games used to excite me a lot, but they're kind of boring me these days.
Now nothing excites. That's why he's on to retro games.
Actually, that's not true. What's that new game?
The only thing that excites him is the
Pizza Tower came out, and that gave a breath of fresh air to the indie
scene. The Wario-Likes, dude. There's Wario-Likes is becoming a thing because there's another.
Well, right, but that's
have you heard of? Is it called Anton Blast or whatever?
I haven't heard of that.
It's another Wario-Like.
Well, that's the problem because now Pizza Tower is popular. Whatever that game.
No, they were,
and now people are gonna make clones of those.
No, these were like independently made. People were just fans of Wario.
I know, but I'm saying now that those got popular. Now that those are popular, people are going to recreate that style.
Because it's not even platformers. It's like so specific. It's a specific sub-series of platformer. Wario-Likes are going to become the new indie subgenre. Yeah. Imagine a Nintendo...
No, but that's what I'm saying. Because once one gets popular, people are like, I like this. Let me make it again.
It's going to go so far that people won't even know that it came from Wario. They're just going to be like, it's that pizza game.
Well, I'm sure Pizza Tower, people already don't know that it came from Wario. But a lot of the fan art I see for it is like him in Wario Land 4 scenes.
Yeah.
Definitely some people
you mentioned like the Earthbound inspired indie RPG. There's I mean, obviously one of these it feels kind of like I'm cheating that phrasing, but two of those are obviously doing really well right now. If Deltarune counts, it's...
I haven't heard anything about Deltarune recently.
Well, obviously people are still eating it up, but there hasn't been anything new since the last chapter. But also Omori, which
which I have yet to play, but
I remember when that game was announced, and it was way back, that I was like super hyped about it.
Yeah.
And then now it's been so long since it came out that I'm just like, I'll play it someday.
I mean, I heard it's good. My roommate played through it, and he
changed his Discord avatar to.
Yeah, he did that. Because if you play Omori, apparently you have to be one of those people.
Anime profile
pic. The black and white crying anime profile pic.
But dude, every time I see something about Deltarune, I can't even, I've seen like all the spoilers now. I can't stop consuming it because it looks so interesting. Don't do it. I don't want to play the chapters yet because I want to play the game in full. Are they all free still?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I haven't heard much news about it. I don't even know what chapter they're on now, but
I have like such strong almost fear levels of anticipation for this game. It looks so awesome. I loved Undertale, and I'd love to play Deltarune, and it's already partially there, but I want the whole thing.
Just play it in parts. Maybe I think that's your problem with video games, because he has video games from years ago that he hasn't even opened. Like Nintendo Switch games,
because they're sequels, and I haven't played the
still in their cellophane wrapping. And I think the problem is you're like, I'm not going to play that unless I can sit down and like win the whole game. Because that's what you do with games. You sit down and you beat the whole game in one day. But you're like, I never have time to do that. So then you're never going to play video games. Sometimes video games you play in parts. You play in parts over time.
Loser, shut up. Oh. Two of my favorite games of all time, Super Mario Odyssey, and to a lesser extent, Mario and Luigi Dream Team, were ruined for me because I played them in short bursts whenever I had time during the thing that saved those games in my eyes was going back and playing more of them after I had graduated and could just play them all. But playing them whenever I was home and I was done with like my homework and stuff ruined them for me. I actually thought they were terrible. And then I went back and I played Odyssey and I was like, this is amazing.
It's probably just because you were depressed at the time.
That too.
Like, I don't know if... I mean... I don't think what you're describing is necessarily the problem.
Like, I can't even form complete memories of Mario and Luigi Dream Team.
Okay, well, maybe if you're saying you just, like, worked on homework for hours and then you, like, play for, like, 15, 20 minutes, but...
It was probably at least 30.
If you play, like, an hour or two a day until you finish the game, like... Also, that's how the real world works, because, like, people have jobs and they can't just beat a whole game in one day unless it's on the weekend, maybe.
I know. I'm not saying the whole day, but I need like a good 2-hour session.
Yeah, that's reasonable, but you that's what I'm saying. A Deltarune chapter is probably that much
But the only reason that I can do that these days is because I'm unemployed and a loser. I mean,
Well, but why don't you do that? You still have games you've never played.
Because I'm trying to not be an unemployed loser. Because I'm trying to not be an unemployed loser.
And with that said, subscribe, like, leave a comment down below. Help us blow up so that Jonathan can be an employed winner.
Yes, thank you. I was going to say, have you heard, though, about the fan-made Earthbound or Mother 4?
No, maybe a little.
That thing has been in development for, like, eons, bro. That's, like, you're talking way back, like,
yeah, and the second it gets finished, it's going to be taken down and burnt to a crisp
It went
by
silent
Nintendo.
for years, and then they brought it back suddenly a while ago, and now it's going by the name Oddity. So it's apparently separated from its like mother, at least in its name.
Well, yeah, they don't want to catch a lawsuit, man.
Yeah, but like I'm interested to see whenever that comes out. My big fan of Nelward, he made some music for it.
So do you have any other topics you want to touch on?
I was gonna use this as a transition back when we were talking about Pikmin 4. Miyamoto is such a character. When he was presenting that, and he had on the shirt, and he always, anytime he says anything about Pikmin, he's required to have like the spiel he goes on about, like, if you keep your eyes open, the Pikmin are all around.
Yeah, because the Pikmin bloom.
Yeah, and he was
it is now canon, according to Nintendo, that Pikmin exist in the real
Miyamoto's
world.
eyes. They were always there to Miyamoto, but now everyone can see them.
You just have to download our app and open up your phone, and then you'll see them.
Yeah, talking about like these terminologies for the game feel of Pikmin, and I brought it up again because it felt so Miyamoto earlier when he was talking. Whenever he presents the Mario movie, but a new peak Miyamoto when he was presenting it was like he said, we have Mario's shoes at the Nintendo New York store.
Yeah, Mario's boots.
Like, of all, like, not the hat, not anything like that. And then I saw, like, it was like on Illumination's Twitter or something. They had, like, a recreation. I mean, they just painted it. Yeah. Of the Mario Brothers plumbing van outside. Yeah. And I was like, now, if you want to get me that sounds interesting. But no, it's the shoes.
No, he said, we got the shoes on display.
Miyamoto is so goofy. He's such a character. I love it. That could be a transition, though. You wanted to talk about Super Nintendo World.
Yes, I was going to talk about that.
Because Miyamoto's goofiness extends to that too. He always presents it. He did a big thing when they opened the first one in America. He was speaking in his, like, you know, slightly less than perfect English, but it was very charming. But anytime he sees the big Mario and Luigi mascots running around, he talks to them like they're his kids. He's like, Dad's got to go now. It's so cute.
Can you imagine being a grown man paid to be the Mario at Universal? And then
he loves it.
And then Miyamoto walks up and he's like, okay, son.
Yeah.
Run along now.
It's awesome. But what are your opinions on it? Because you went to Universal Studios.
I went to Universal Studios, but in Florida. And it's not in Florida yet. It's only in...
Yeah. Where is it? I forgot.
It's got to be in California, right?
That would be my guess. It doesn't matter. It's not important to what we're talking about.
It's probably California, because apparently Orlando and wherever in California is the two places where theme parks can exist.
Thing is, I'm a bigger fan of amusement parks. I love the rides. I love all that crazy stuff. Theme parks are more like you just walk around and it looks
They have
cool.
rides.
They do have rides, but they're not required to be a theme park. And there's usually more of a focus on the scenery for a theme park.
Well, you're the number one Mario nerd. How would you not like a Mario theme park?
I would, but I'd like it better if it was an amusement park.
They have a ride.
They do, but like a ride.
Well, they have a roller coaster, I should say. They have multiple rides.
It's like a VR, like, fusion roller coaster thing. The Mario Kart one, right?
They have a Donkey Kong coaster.
Oh, I thought... Wait, no, they have that? I thought that was still in production.
Oh, I don't know if it's out. I don't know if it's finished yet, but I know at least they're...
Well, I'll get excited when
I know at least they said that they were making that.
When it first came out, all they had was, like, the cafe... And like a Yoshi ride for kids. This is just like a roundabout thing.
When it was opened?
In Japan.
Oh.
And I was like, well, that's kind of lame. And that's how I feel about theme parks. All you're required for it to be a theme park is to just have the theming.
Well, that's what, like, most of... Honestly, I'm going to be frank with you all. Universal Studios do not go there for their rides. Don't go to Universal for their rides. But, I mean, it's the same with Disney. Especially because Disney's geared us mostly towards kids. Don't go there expecting, like, roller coasters to be fun. Go to Carowinds or Six Flags or something. Or go to Hershey Park.
I've had my opinion changed recently.
Universal Studios, I know now that I've been there, is very much just theme park. And for me, that was not it. Mostly because I'm not a big, like, Marvel and Minions and Harry Potter fan. So none of those
Jurassic Park ride.
None of the franchises really appeal to me. But I will say, they did have a fire roller coaster. The new roller coaster for the new Jurassic Park movie. Velocicoaster, that was flames. That was such a fun roller coaster. But like the themey stuff, like the Marvel world, I was like, the Harry Potter, I was like, you know, like it wasn't that interesting to me. But if I was in a Mario theme park, that theming would be interesting to me. So I think I would find it fun.
But no, I agree with you. Because the thing is, I was slightly underwhelmed up until recently, but I did like a more in-depth dive into it. And it is way more complex. Because, I mean, I know they have the bands where you interact with stuff. The little bands you put on.
Yeah, you can collect coins, Jonathan.
But no, like, there's... What I didn't know, because I knew they had that, and that's so Nintendo, they always have to make it interactive.
Yeah, like the Legos.
They always have to go deeper. Yes, I love that about Nintendo. The Labo, all this stuff, it's so creative. They can't just do something normal.
They're still a toy company at heart.
Yes, they are. They can't make anything not a toy. They can't not turn an entire park.
This guy is a Nintendo fanboy.
They can't not turn an entire park into a toy.
This bro is getting giddy with excitement.
But no, I didn't realize that it wasn't just a band, but they have like an app that gives you like missions and like tells you all this stuff around the park.
That's cool.
It is. It turns the park into not just a toy, but a game.
So wait, why were you saying that this theme park was a sleeper then?
Because I didn't know all this stuff. And when it first came out in Japan...
You were trying to bait us. You were like,
yes. Yeah, you don't let me finish. Okay. But also because when it did first come out in Japan, I was talking about how it was very bare bones. I was unimpressed then. Well, but now I'm not. It still has some room to grow, but I like it already.
Kit and Krista, formerly of Nintendo Minute.
Oh, well, now we got to talk about this.
Kit and Krista said that they were, I forget the words, but they were impressed. Like their expectations were exceeded by the theme park. So I would take their word for it, any day of the week because they're the number one, you know. So,
but the thing is, well, for one, my last I've seen also. There's so many details. Even though I said the scenery is my favorite thing. The scenery is so magnificent. The food items on the menu, and I've heard by heavily branded theme park standards, they're not even that expensive. Like they are expensive, but they could be worse. And they look awesome. My one complaint is it's Super Nintendo World, but it is definitely very much still Super Mario World.
That's what I wrote here. I said Super Nintendo, and I underlined Nintendo. Because there's no Nintendo other than Mario.
I heard people when it came out, they were like, I hope there's a few Pikmin running around. I hope they have people in Animal Crossing character. I want to see Tom Nook running around in a character costume.
But this goes to a question that I was going to ask
you. The closest they've gone is into the Mario sub-series, which they kind of try to treat as their own series with the Yoshi and the Donkey Kong.
Well, this is what I was going to ask you. How long before they started working on the theme park and made that public do you think that they knew they were going to partner with Illumination to make a movie? Because
I don't know.
You know, it works perfectly that they have a worked with Universal for a theme park.
Yeah.
Universal owns Illumination.
Yes.
And they work with Illumination for a movie. Like, I almost feel like it worked in reverse.
Yeah, I think it's just a strange, like, stars
Universal
align type of
Universal
thing.
works, like, literally introduced, like, Minions as, like, an afterthought.
Yeah.
Just because they own the IP, because they own Illumination. So they just throw in some Minions just for fun at Universal. And I'm wondering if it's the same thing with Mario, but then they saw an opportunity. Like, now that Universal technically has some sort of licensing to Mario with the movie, now they can make a theme park for it. But I think it would be cooler if there's no feasible way with Nintendo's scale that they can do this, because they're no Disney, at least not yet. But it'd be so much cooler if Nintendo did make their own theme park and made it actually Super Nintendo World or Land or whatever. And
oh my goodness,
actually made all kinds of different Nintendo representation there.
Dude, you're getting ahead of me, because I still wasn't finished. I was going to talk about how I just wanted to finish up by saying how it's almost like morbidly, kind of sadly hilarious how terribly the timing of this whole thing was, because this first came out around like when COVID was still like spiking up.
Yeah.
And so they're like, Nintendo releases a theme park that is on the smaller side by Universal standards, with drawing in huge crowds tightly together, where the mechanic is to touch things that other people have touched. And it is just hilariously awful on paper, but they couldn't have known when they started planning it.
What does that have to do with what I said?
Oh, that was just my final thought.
Oh, okay.
But what you said was, dude, Nintendo, because before Nintendo started the movie, and before Nintendo started the theme park, Miyamoto, like, dropped a bomb that, like, looking back on it, was, like, prophetic. He said he wants Nintendo to be like Disney.
Yeah.
Where they're not known for one specific thing, they're just known for entertainment.
Yeah, I just saw
I think that's awesome.
I just saw a tweet that was asking if people think that's the way Nintendo's going to go and become, like, just an entertainment general company, like Disney.
And I feel like they always have, because they start off as a toy company. That's always been their heart. And even their branding, when they started going into video games, I mean, part of this was to avoid, like, repercussions from the game crash, but they were the Nintendo Entertainment System. Mm-hmm. They were all just about, and every time it was like their logo.
Way too excited. It was like you just solved some unsolved mystery.
Let me be passionate without interrupting my train of thought. Okay,
go ahead.
It was like a slogan. Logos are visible.
Slogan.
It was like a slogan for Nintendo representatives. Reggie said this a lot before he retired. They would always say that Nintendo's like mission statement was to bring smiles to as many people's faces as possible. They never said anything about games. Well, I mean, they did. Reggie said, if there's no challenge, where's the fun?
I'll say,
but that was like their mission statement.
You know, it's not necessarily new. They've been doing the Pokemon anime for a long time. They've always released toys.
I mean, Pokemon is a joint thing, but
yeah, but they've always released toys and plushies.
Yeah, and they always put so much care into them with the Lego. It can't ever just be a normal toy.
Clothing, all these licensed products, which you could all argue that's all merchandise, yes, but entertainment.
They even have candies. I got my Mario candies.
But the real question
that counts as entertainment.
Let me talk. The real question is, because they've already been doing this stuff, and really the movie and the theme park is nothing necessarily new, but other than being much more high scale than the previous things they've done. I think the real question, and what would make them become their own entertainment company, is when they stop outsourcing it to other companies.
Yes,
to do that.
You're getting ahead of me again. But this is the opposite of the last podcast.
They took these big steps, but it's all under Universal. So as much as I think it would be cool, and I wish that they would maybe expand a little bit, the biggest step that they've ever taken, they've just done it under somebody else. So I feel like they're halting their chances there.
Disneyland is its own thing. They don't got to answer to nobody.
But I also got to say that I don't want to see Nintendo become so big that it becomes a gross monopoly like Disney.
Oh, absolutely. But they're already so big, and, well, that's a whole topic.
But only in the video game industry.
Because this is the thing. I said this before. They need to have, like, an Independence Day. They got to separate them from everyone else.
Oh, my... Okay. This is bad.
But no, I actually did bring this up, and I said that they should try doing stuff on their own way back when this first started, and you made it sound like that was like too ambitious of an idea. But now it seems like you're on board.
Well, no. It is. It is probably too ambitious of an idea to be that realistic. And that's why if they wanted to do that, it would be such a massive risk. But that doesn't take away from me thinking that it would be cool if they did. But I understand why they're probably not going to. it's way too. I mean, it's a huge.
It is
to do their own theme.
But they're not going to be Disney level unless they do.
Universal already has their the framework set out for all this stuff. All they do is just give them the licensing and they work together to design it. To make your own theme park, all the framework and all that stuff. I mean, there's so much brick and mortar stuff which Nintendo normally doesn't deal with that they would have to get their hands into. I mean, it would be such a massive sink of money, which hopefully they would make back in return, but it's such a huge risk that I don't see them ever doing it.
Yeah. But here's because we were talking about Nintendo's history. This what we're talking about is very ambitious, but it kind of lines up with Nintendo's done. When Nintendo first crossed over to America, they were like a second-party developer. They released Mario Bros. And Donkey Kong on Atari and PC and stuff. It wasn't later on until they were their own thing. This could be the same thing. They just are looking to get a footing, and once it proves successful, then they're like, we can do this on our own. Hypothetically. Obviously, it's a lot more ambitious.
It's definitely possible, but I just feel like when they're going with the Super Nintendo World Park, the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Yeah.
Like, they are creating the most definitive versions of those media or those entertainment outlets that they can right now under somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, what are they gonna say, okay, the Super Mario Bros. Movie went well, let's now try to make our own movie studio under ourselves and produce our own movie, Super Mario Bros. 2 movie.
Here's the thing.
Or the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2, and then it's always going to be in the shadow of what they did with somebody else.
They've patented or copyrighted or whatever, like a Nintendo Productions. They have. And I just don't know if that's like a subset working with
for
Illumination.
Like advertisements and stuff as well, but to make their own movie under exclusively themselves. First of all,
we don't know.
Right now, they don't have the kind of people employed to do that. Exactly. They don't have an animation
That's the thing. You got to hire all these like park executives if you want to make your own theme parks. So, like, you got to hire
it's
writers
easier to
and
work
all
with
that
somebody
for
else.
Movies.
And while I agree that maybe this is them getting their foot in the door, now I feel like anything they do in the future, if they were to break away, is going to be in the shadow of this first step they took.
Yeah.
Because this is what they're trying to make the biggest,
and the thing
is,
you can't justify having these people hired for these jobs unless they're constantly doing something. So they won't just be making like a movie every year. They're going to have like Disney levels of like constant output in something.
Yeah. I don't know. In a lot of ways, again, I hope that I almost feel comfortable if they don't do that, because it might in some sense ruin the integrity of the company. So I'm content with
how long do you want this podcast to go?
I think we can end it on that topic there.
Well, dang, because you set up some stuff I could keep talking about. I guess we're going to have to do that in the next episode.
We sure will. I mean, we can't. It's already been an hour.
This is what happens when you go so long without doing a podcast. We were going to talk about why it's been so long and all that stuff and all personal stuff.
We did say we were.
We never did any of that.
We could fit it in like 5 minutes.
In like 5 minutes?
Well, no.
Sure, I guess.
There's not much to fit in. I'm in school. You're not in school, which means that I'm away from you for several months at a time. So how do we record podcasts? We don't. Boom. Problem solved. Answer given.
Yeah. And that's why, well, I'm trying to make up for his slack, but speaking of ambitious, I made that whole animation that was supposed to advertise.
Wait. You're saying that I'm slacking?
No.
By being in college and not being able to physically
Slack has a connotation with laziness.
Look,
but I mean you're pulling back. You're pushing against force.
I literally...
Not by your own fault.
No, I offered to record podcasts while I'm at school, but you said no, it won't be the same over a voice call. How am I supposed to...
Would it not?
Well, how am I supposed to just be in college and be here at the same time?
Here's what I'm saying. Again, slack wasn't the best word, but it's a term. I just wanted to use a term.
Okay, apparently by going to college, I'm giving up on the podcast.
I've been trying to think of things.
I'm going to college so that I don't die. I can get a job in my life.
Bro.
What do you mean? You want me to drop out of college so I can
No.
This is ridiculous. What I said was a perfect summary, and you've ruined it.
All I'm trying to say is that I've been trying to see what I can do without you or do with compromise to your current situation. And it has not been going well. So that's where I have been with the few random, like, sporadic animations I've dropped, animatics, where I tried to advertise stuff that is happening now. You're hearing my voice, but is kind of fallen flat. I've got big plans. I always will, and you'll probably never see them. But me and Jason will always be here when he's not at college to record a podcast for you. I promise.
Okay, I guess that's true. that all?
I suppose so. Unless you have any other closing thoughts.
I don't have any other closing thoughts other than I deeply apologize to all 5 viewers out there. Everyone watching this while you're eating breakfast, eating lunch, eating dinner. I deeply apologize for going to college, guys. I'm really
I didn't
sorry.
mean it like that, bro. I'm just saying. It's inconvenient, but it's not your fault.
Look, he's slacking by doing all this
I'm
college
slacking.
baloney.
I'm slacking. I'm fooling off, man.
No, all you had to say was that our current situations do not allow us to regularly record things together and produce content.
But someday, you just wait. Someday it's coming.
Yeah, which is why I need to get a college degree so I can be like, I can sell my soul to the corporate world just for a few years. Just for a few years. Get like a couple $1 million because I'm an overpaid computer scientist. And then I buy 2 houses. I buy a big plot of land, build 2 houses. Yours is really far away, but it's within like 2-minute walking distance.
Okay.
I walk over every Tuesday and we record a podcast.
Nice.
It goes up the next week. That will be the future.
Guys, you get ready.
And we'll have our game room with our antique video games.
Yes, big things are coming, and Jason's planning them, so they're actually happening this time.
Yeah, all rides on this couple million that I'm gonna get from
get
being
invested.
A software engineer.
Now's the time. We need your stake in this.
We're gonna play games that are years old, like Cuphead, that we meant to play when it first came out.
Exactly.
We're gonna play.
It's all gonna pay off. Keep donating. We'll pay you back in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Hold on. Insert the Elon Musk. Guys, if you donate right now, I'm gonna double your donation in Bitcoin. Real,
very real. We're real. We know you. We're here for you.
Comment down
Trust
below.
us.
Comment down below your bank checking account and the amount you want to donate, and we'll extract it for you. And then we'll give you the Bitcoin if you drop your wallet. And you can trust me because I'm saying it. I'm not an AI because I can do this.
Yeah!
It's an AI.
Trust us. Trust us.
Give us your money.
Trust us.